Test, test, test. All right. Test. All right. Audio should be playing, and so if y'all didn't see, this is the new me. I finally got a character ref sheet together. I'm sure I'll get lore at some point. I got bits and pieces, scraps if you want to say. Sorry I was a couple minutes late. Went to go live and turned out I needed to update my video drivers. And I love how slobs won't run unless you have literally absolute cutting edge video drivers. This actually might be the last time I stream with this background and everything too. Someone suggested somebody that did a widgets, etc. And one of the things I've been dragging my feet on is chat widget. So I should finally move over to OBS and yeah, character ref sheet. Go see my Twitter. I'll just link it real quick. Should be the pinned tweet, but all right, let's get into this. All right, we're gonna go with operator because it's kind of what I'd be. So, operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. And perk transfer intercept, chance to gain cryo on interface actions. I have no idea what cryo is. I assume that's like money or something, or skill points. So, engineer 0. Works with machines and physical tools. Interface +1. Works with digital interfaces. Endure -1. Use strength or strength of will. Intuit 0. Approach problems with awareness. Engage 0. Approach a problem head on. So the other two options are, of course, extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and high-level endurance. Their perk is photosynthetic skin. Sunbathed dice action allows energy recovery at home. So that sounds like you can probably get more work done in general. They get endurance and a -1 into Intuit. And then finally, machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Perk efficient extractor, a chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. Which, yeah, sounds like money or something. So, let's go. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's as at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body, forget that body. We're going to think of that body. I'm a nostalgic kind of man. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited, and once you got the itch to get out by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, sear yourselves into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach your destination. We're going to try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe even months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth, not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor, sound too everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. The light, white as the cold, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Yep, cryo, cryptocurrency stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Interesting. Chits is an old cyberpunk word. Okay, looks like we only have Dragos, Pragmatic Salvager. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of a scrapyard, swathed in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. Dragos, a pragmatic and private salvager. Dragos kind of looks like me! You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed out? Almost. Never seen it when you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his biotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking with you in an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment, or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. You are just software, a rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You're not alone. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get to know the familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You're no longer that person. You're an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins shutting down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in as much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. All right, you head up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting Hulk, plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to his work. Tutorial introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle for now. Empty container, you're home for now. Per cycle energy condition, end cycle. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. End the cycle. You wait curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Building a life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud on the stove and begin to boil the water. Constant, the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can, try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Alright, here we go. Tutorial, condition, action dice, and energy. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you've used your dice and cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. So, okay, we have a little hexagonally menu. Okay, these are my action dice, I assume. So, okay. It says flickering. I'm not quite... I've got some time before I starve. I only have 2 segments before I lose condition. Actually, wait. I think this is condition. So, I'm actually not that bad off, but I am close to starving. Which makes sense. So, I can leave. Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder. Its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps, good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally pull each out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of the time in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits on commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These, he pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Airwalled cryo, isolated from the markets. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in his pocket. Oh! Airwalled, not air-gapped. Ugh. So yeah, they just mean that it's not networked. They're USB drives with crypto on them. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And Sleeper's, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, I need the help. I'm going to say happy to. Okay, he pushes, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay, I've got the empty container, my home for now, and then Drago's yard, decaying scrapyard. Oh, I definitely screwed the pooch on this one. Actions are a primary way to interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. You perform action, click, and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Repeatable action, hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Repeatable action and manual salvage. Endure. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to the hard labor. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items, depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcomes. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Action dice. 6 is 100%, then it goes down to 50-50, then it goes down to 25-50-25, and then it goes to 50-50. So even with the lowest dice, you've got a good chance of actually getting at least success. Continue. Type. Either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. Safe, no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky, negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Danger, negative outcomes means condition loss. Neutral outcome means cryo or energy loss. So dangerous stuff, like, just don't do it if you're going to screw up. Skill, that this action requires either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier, either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Oh, so nice. Yeah, as I can still do, I can salvage. I'm just going to be, like, crappier at it by, like, a -1. Okay. Okay, repeatable action. Hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Which, repeatable action, manual salvage. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through all the towers. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two things could get nasty. Back in business, every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. So we got a 6, so I'm definitely going into risky on that. Tutorial. Clocks. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for the location. Okay. Back in business, every salvager knows they're always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. So that got me 2 cycles out of 8, and I've got 4 more dice. So yeah, we're gonna keep going. Tutorial. Drives and navigation, 1/2. In Citizen Sleeper, you unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objects depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue the goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow at the top left of the screen. You're now free to explore Erland's Eyes and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress the stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. Use the mouse wheel or WS to scroll along the station. Rotate the view A and D. Good luck. So yeah, we're going to try to find a doctor. And this is Okay, so we can leave now. Okay, we got a shipyard. Dock C4. Rotunda, old dock terminal. Dock B2, Rotunda Wetlock. Oh, Bright Market, bustling open market. Low end gate, passage into the low end. Okay, the marketing's all flashy, so we're going to go here first. I've still got a 5 dice, so we're going to go all the way for risky and ask for directions. Bam! Local knowledge. Bright Market is the busiest part of lower end rim. You can find anything and everywhere here. Oh, sweet. Okay. Sabine, Slum Doctor. Next comes a call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they all have made the long queue a test to your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizers, your body will... You suppress the shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. I don't like either of these options. Look inside or look at the enforcer. We're gonna look inside because yeah, don't make eye contact with enforcers unless you have to. You lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a faraway door, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. Yeah, there's no good one there. They just want to jack us. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Looks kind of like almost a kid. Come sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the floor. The figure turns. As they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit, they gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station, they ask, the scanner still in their eye. We're going to answer, because, I'm pretty sure we're screwed otherwise. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? I'm just going to say yes, because we do know this. Good, that may help. They swapped your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or for everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, you have no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. The SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help you. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They gave me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, and sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think you can do it. Okay, we're going to get a little curious at this point. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk into the crowd. Okay, now we've got a street food vendor. Build a ship mine. You've heard of a fabricator owned by the Ord Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mine core. Nice. That just like popped up. Okay, we're going to check the food vendor. Emphis, an imposing street food vendor. He's holding a wok, kind of like a shield, and there's a knife on it. Emphis is busy, his broad face uplifted by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red fleck dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. It's approach and watch. I think I'm going to watch it first. Despite the queue, Emphis doesn't rush. He dresses each portion individually, squeezing precise slugs of liquid from an assortment of bottles into the bowl of torn leaves and bright slices before tossing them loosely together. Occasionally, a waiting customer might mutter something about efficiency, but Emphas remains steady in his process. After a while, the queue fades back into the crowd, and Emphas sets down his metal bowl and looks up across the burner to see you watching him. I feel your eyes burning a hole in my bowl. Free sample? I'll nod. He gestures neatly. Come over. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphas says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and it scares you, and you're unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time, then, sleeper. Oh, he's got a little basket of his foodstuffs, and I see bottles. I'm loving the design here. I almost gotta mumble at Ren about this. Ren, the guy who commissioned me on this. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice a geometric patterns of circular scars across its forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away. As you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Okay, I'm full now, so we're going to check out Emphas's stall one more time, see if there's information. Okay, we can order fungus for 15, which is half my daily wages currently. And I eventually get, and that clocks in Fungus Fan, which Emphas doesn't trust people easily, but he notices his regular customers in his own quiet way. So 4 days, or four eating times, which is gonna be a while. And we'll get something. Alright, we got low end gate. We're gonna check this. Pay and toll, 60 credits. After some spacers caused some trouble in the low end, Yadigan has imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. 60. That's 2 days' wages for me right now. Okay, then next we have the Ort Exchange, Hardware Exchange. We're going to try Sabine's Surgery one more time, see what we get then. Okay, Sabine has Sourcing Stabilizer. Sabine thinks they can source some stabilizers through Yagin, but it's going to take a few cycles. Specifically, 3 cycles. Okay, the Ort Hardware Exchange. Play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Sell components. The Ort Exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up, break down, or sell off, and you're happy to supply it. Which takes 1 scrap components, which I don't think I have. Yeah, I have 0 scrap components. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll get Trusted Trader. There's an old ship mine fabrication stack in the back of the market, but only trusted traders get access to it. Oh, so yeah. This is, yeah, so I've got to trade in scrap or play the exchange, assumably. But playing the exchange is risky, so I'm not going to do it today, because I've only got like a 3 left. So I'll only do safe stuff. Dock B2, Rotunda wet dock. Salvage sortie. It takes several cycles to reach the stalwart belt and return, loaded with scrap from old wrecks. Oh, okay. So, like, a ship will come back with scrap and be here eventually, I think. Rotunda, the old dock terminal. Steel dock plans. Have engaged security have to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place and the most dangerous. Explore the Rotunda. The Rotunda of the old docks is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. Risky to do that. And we get Dock Watcher. Getting to know the Rotunda doesn't mean just mean new places to visit. It means keeping your eye on new arrivals, too. And then Havenge watch list. Havenge run the Rotunda, and the security watches the docks. Better to avoid attracting their attention. So, yeah, so I bet you if we try to steal the dock plans or fail exploration, we get clocks on this, and then bad things happen. And then good things happen on Dock Watcher. Okay, Dock C4. Hellion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. So that's going to be a while. We've got the scrapyard, empty container, and we're going to check out the shipyard. Havenge construction yards. Yeah, drone operator just was not the smart thing to take here. Assist the shipbuilder, engineer. You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice you, you might be in. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there. No tourists here. And then haul materials, which is an endured danger. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing a load of materials and asking the nearest yard hand where to take them. And that's a -1 danger, so yeah, none of that. We're going to rotate now. That appears to be the far end. Okay, we'll go to Drago's yard, and we've got an Endure safe, so we'll go here. I got a 50% negative chance on this, so, Oh. Okay, we're going to roll the dice on hull dissection. Woo! All right, we're out, so we're gonna take a rest. End cycles, all cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. Hey, Kryshard, thanks for the lurk! These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions. As you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to, you see the station. No, you feel the station. Like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. We're going to absorb the smooth black liquid. No. I've got an interface. We're going to touch it. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried away with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. We didn't get money dice, and we got bad, just terrible stuff. Okay, I don't need food today. We got hosed today. I'm just going to have to risk it. Oh, that's... Yeah. Okay, so that's energy. So I'll be starving tomorrow. Or I'll need to get food tomorrow. Oh man, that is not... Manual salvage is not worth as much. And that is not getting me... it's not getting me any back in business. Or it's super slow or something. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It's clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath, transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of thread across the ring. Through these forms, then leap off into the void. Begin to understand, these are nodes and connections, a map of information of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops, but it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. We're going to focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. Before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across the ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. Look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they are tied around you. We'll go with the first. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching even closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep in the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. All right, we got a 6. Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside of you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the eye at the bottom at the top of the screen to toggle the view on and off. All right, here we go. Yataghan agents. Oh, data actions allow you to extract data. Okay, just get the fuck off me then. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, you will be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Oh, I don't have either of these. Keynode 9426, this node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at glacial pace, abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. I don't have 1 or a 2. I wonder if they change each segment. Keynode, 3 or a 2. Once again, nope. This node is orbited by the remains of corporate countermeasure broken long ago by hackers. Solheim Cipher, a slot Solheim Cipher. This gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. And I don't have the cipher, so... Oh, a Havigan agent. 2 or 3, once again, no. A Havigan member is broadcasting on the open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. Key node 0831. A lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. Havigan members broadcasting open network, leaving them open. 2 and a 3. Like, seriously, like, all these are like low dice and I can't match them. Key node 102, data is part of cache, tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this and what is the purpose? Oh, I can... slot Havigan cipher. This gate keeps traffic out of the Havigan shipyard's internal network. The correct cipher can grant you access. Okay, we're going to try to steal the dock plans. Nice. Okay, we've now got Acta Stranded Mercenary. Let's go talk to this guy. Ann Kahita, Stranded Mercenary. Hey, you want to earn a chip? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her suit. Yeah, we're going to be smartass and say make it 2. Ankita laughs. This goddamn station, she sighs, and pinches the bridge of her nose. All right, come here then. Across the docking concourses, she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place, she asks, as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She strains up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? I'm going to straight up be honest. We all need to survive. Akita softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped-up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. Akita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on, then. Enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Akita gives you a look. Ships this way, and she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. Okay, we can either ask, why are you doing this, or what's all this for? I think I'm more interested in what it's for. Oh, this, she nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another one of her looks. It's for the Ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting silently out there. She rapidly turns around a corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. I'm gonna ask if I can help. Anything I can do to help? I know. Got a ship mine tucked away that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she's serious. Oh, this explains the ship mine thing. Akita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off of your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together. You don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundle of plates through the ambergris outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Akita throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here, she calls back, and the lock slams shut. So we're going to check out the ambergris. All right, we got our interface action. Rewire drones. Akita has a couple of glitched repair drones in storage. If you can rewire them, you can repair the ambergris for you. And then ship shape. Ambergris doesn't look good, but time and attention should return the functional state. Outlook bar. Okay, buy rations. Tala keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary travelers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. Get a drink 6. You're unsure if in your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the Greenway seems like a good test. Overlook regular. Okay. Oh, fix ambergris is now drive. Seal dock. Unlock maglock data. These old maglocks look like they need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for decaying dock? Unsealing the dock, 2 maglocks. Okay. I assume I can get the maglocks by hacking. Okay, we're going to go get food real fast. Oh, you got to drag. Okay, that only got me 3. I'll come back tomorrow, though. Okay, are we going to get lucky? Yeah, we're going to go manual salvage. Hey, JJ! It's not a debut, JJ. It's not a debut. Yeah, let me see if, and it's kind of loud to me, too. Wow. I I can't. I literally can't change how. Okay, is that more palatable, JJ? That's as low as I think I can go. Okay, so back in business, every salvager knows, blah, 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 blah. So, all right, we can go back to Drago. You arrive in a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across the vast dark shapes suspended below the dome. They flicker across the scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands on the side, focused on the hulking ship as it's lowered to the yard. That sounds kind of cute to me. Streaming's going pretty good. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather in the same enthusiasm as Dragos for the monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. So, what happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm going to need some more help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating Flash's dentative hull. No. So Dragos, unfortunately, has some debt. And since Dragos saved us, it's kind of our debt too, but watching you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the SNR freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about the ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Drago squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winter Light. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. All right, we got an upgrade point. Nice. Character tutorial, character and upgrades. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow and bottom right of the screen. I don't know if I can seduce anybody yet. I mean, I'm this cyborg thing. I'm completely synthetic, and I assume I do not have genitalia. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this -1, because I actually have to do a lot of endure tasks. Alright. We're at 0s and 1 + 1. My next one, I'll get Icebreaker. Well, it's synthetic, and, like, you definitely drink and you've definitely eaten, but, like, I'm not actually sure whether you have any orifices at all. Anything much more than, like, a urethra or spigot. So, we don't have any action dice left, and so it's time to end cycle and get some sleep. All right, we got a 6. Oh, wow. Hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. As you Sleeper, wait up. We're going to turn. Feng, a Heavenage systems engineer. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back at the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for all of us? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together in the main walkways. Heavenage, we are all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry, I'm in systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keep it spinning somehow. At least we try. He stops in the quiet passageway. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around, and, well, I know a little bit about sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around, but this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and dark, look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Okay, we're going to check out the shipyard. Oh, so I'm called a sleeper because I'm actually just like a brain in a shell, and my real body's like back on Earth sleeping. So everybody else we saw actually is a waker. I'm the only sleeper. Okay, let's see. Okay, Winterlight, the wreck cutter Drago has brought in salvage, has a history to discover if you are curious. Yard clearance, history or no, the ship is salvage, as Drago always says. Break it down, move on. First thing we got to go is see the dock. So I need like these nano injections, but a corporation controls all of them. So I'm probably going to have to deal with smugglers. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yadigan, he trails off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have any other choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of yourself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of would-be stabilizer. However, unlike immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with a new protein chains, which act as passcodes for your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted to your immune system. Nice. In other words, I can get a body. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. The sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in the chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? Yes. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yadigan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture at the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for the next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate, looking around the room. It seems different somehow, as if things have moved, shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. How much does each injection cost? 100. Oh, jeez. I might be in trouble. Time to get some food. Oh, I'm back to 100% stability though. So this is the bar that I need to keep filled with the injections. So, and it only like goes down like 1 or 2 each cycle. So I've got some time now. Yes. All right, give me 1 second. Here comes your hyd. Actually, tell you what. Give me a sec. Load my soda for this. There we go. Okay, so buying a vial of stabilizer will win me this. I think I wasted my hack by doing that, but whatever. Yeah, I can't use it there. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna actually cheat a little bit and look up where I can use this. Okay, yeah, looks like I kind of wasted an action on that, but whatever. We're going to try to fix the ambergris. Nice! So that's just going to like, yeah, that's just going to fix it eventually. Nice. That was brilliant. I just spent 1 dice for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 actions. Nice, I got a scrap item. Okay, we've got Drago's nerve. Drago seems increasingly nervous. Presence, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I've got to finish probably the yard clearance by this finishes, which yeah. Yeah, so the scrap item, so now we go, for the scrap item, we go to the Yord Exchange. And we're going to sell that bad boy. $12 cryo, not bad. Look at this. Double data rewards. Double. Actually, so the cryo is crypto. It's these. They also call them chits, and they're basically like USB drives with some crypto on them. All right, we're gonna end cycle. Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of worried about this hunted. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time to do anything here. Oh wow, we got. Oh yeah, my condition tells me how many dice. So now we're going to go hacking. So this says node pulses faintly as it mines, crypto, glacial pace, abandoned hacker, or repurposed it. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you, a thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste, the voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown, astringent, processing. I don't like that it's telling me I'm astringent, but we're just going to stay still for now. Hunter, sentient protocol unraveling. Oh, so this is the hunter. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a ton of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. We're going to go with what did you do? Or actually, we're going to say, what are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identity, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. We're just going to be honest. Sleeper, S, and ARP. Unknown, known. So it doesn't know S and ARP, but it knows what a sleeper is. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackus signature, of and not of. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and away. They approach with intent. An astringent is like something that like you use like to clean things. We're going to try to ask it politely. It hasn't attacked yet. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? Yeah, I'm a person. Incorrect, you are an entity. All at once, the hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. So, what's funny is I got the key and I was gonna go unlock the dock. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Okay, combat's gonna go down. Strike. You lash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a spike of interference, leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back to the station, light shaking with fear. Well, that guy was a dick, so we're going to go to the dock. You know, I probably shouldn't hack more than once each cycle, so. Oh, okay, let's check Feng. Sleeper Feng catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look, you know. Right? He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses and closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostics, slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans over his server stack and gestures around. You like it? We're going to be nice and say it's incredible, because it does sound kind of cool. He smiles widely. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, A1, the one Solheim belt. We've had to invent new components, repair things we've never built, reverse engineer entire substations into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they're seeing a concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? He means the hacking. Yeah, I can see it. It makes sense, right? You are between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing your being a beacon isn't always the ideal when you are on the run, though. I'm going to tell him the truth. They are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see. Access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Heavenage, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You can help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisition budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. Slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step blinking back into the passageway, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Feng's Bay, Havenage Systems Department. Feng will pay you for any Solheim data you dredge up from the Eye's old system. What he does with it is anyone's guess. Scoping the systems, Feng wants to get a look at what the data is hiding deep in the Eye subsystem of the Edge. Interesting. I have an Edge data. This is the only Solheim gate there is. Gate S7 access. Oh, okay, yeah. So these are the 3 Solheim nodes that he wants. So I already hacked once this turn, so... We'll hack one more time if we can, because I want to stay ahead of this. Solheim data, bam. Oh, we have a 100 meter now. See how much how much money we get for this. Eh, 15 cryo, not bad. Man, another scrap item. Nice. Oh, the scrap freighter's in. Okay. Oh, uh-oh, that's a red bar. Oh, yeah, so once I buy 3 scrap from them, I can't buy anymore. And they're only going to be here for a little bit. It costs me 20 to buy scrap from them, and I can sell it here for 12, so my net negative isn't that bad. Oh, that's a ship mine fragment. We're not selling that thing. No, we are going to sell it because we need money now. Oh, I literally can't sell it. Nice. This item is too important. Oh, sweet, I can spend the one here. I guess we're just going to totally hack this time. Oh, that got me I think that got me a hunter. Oh, man. Okay, I can't hack this time. Have a good night, JJ. Alright, so I've finished Winterlight. Squeezed into the office at the entrance to the yard, you lay out everything you have on the Winterlight across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensics notes glow on Drago's old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. The set of drone scans fill the terminal with spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin and almost transparent. We're going to look at the monitor first, or we're going to look at printout first. The plain list shows the registration history of the Winterlight, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to hundreds of cycles. The Winterlight got little rest. Look at the slate. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the Winterlight before its fatal accident consist of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing the possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified parts replaced with inventive configurations. The new retrofitted into the old handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded to disguise the change, but they are there. Look at the monitor. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps on the remains of the Winterlight. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in a section, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating this view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story, a catastrophic failure of the drive core leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You're looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You're looking at it because it is troubling you. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winter Light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story because there's something else. Give me a sec, someone's messaging me. Okay, back. Sorry about that. Okay, but that's not all. The full story, because there's something else. It is a little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winterlight had a separate system, one tucked away in one of the hidden compartments, armored, air-wall. The list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Shipmind ROMs, shimmer, cryo chain codes, then the final entry, passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list and on the terminal and try not to think about what was like arriving here in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter, luckier, how had they convinced the Winterlight, a smuggler's ship, if you ever saw one, to extract them from Essenarp? Luckier, you laugh. There had to have been remains found in any of the Winterlight's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guessed, not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer of the light. This was all you found in their compartment, a parting gift from Essenarp. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it in your back pocket. Sweet! The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming in at the same yard, 2 one after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between the datasets in the terminal, thinking, and you see that thumbprint again, the mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winterlight with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you've assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk. Faster than you realize he can move. You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through the implants. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut on this one, I think. He starts shaking his head. I know you have lots of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. I am going to ask him who's bringing him the ships. Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. Why are you asking? Are you looking to get us both killed? We cut these things up. That's our part. Their part is something I don't want to know. Oh, man. He's a cleaner. He's a f***ing cleaner. Drago seems to steady himself, then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in the headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty others who would have sold you on, turned you in, but not me. I'm going to say I know, because I don't want to do the butt thing. He softens. Look, you've helped me too. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this deception you have with this ship isn't going to work for you. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you are after. You can't work here anymore. Oh, shit. I'm going to tell him I need the work. There's plenty of work to be had on the eye. Salvagers need offloads in the rotunda, and Yadigan are always looking for crew. I'm not the only show in town. Dragos reaches across to you and flicks off the terminal. As the lights of the monitor dies, the kind of eerie calm and fades. Whatever this was, it is done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. Yeah, I'm going to ask what if they come for me. Then you run. You don't come here. You don't scream. You don't shout. You run. In the dark, Drago's headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket in his overalls. He holds the door for you. His headset is as expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office, then out into the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winterlight and whether or not that person will come for you. All right. I think that's it for me tonight. Thanks for everybody who showed up or lurked or whatnot. I think I might stream this again. I think I'm hooked. JJ's on, so we'll just raid JJ because he came in and said hi. So have a good night, everybody, and catch you around.